Hi, everybody. I have a short story I want to read to you. One day, Kishu said to Mezu, Master Mezu, does God exist? Master Mezu replied, Kishu, this is the one question that I cannot answer for you. Only you can answer this question for yourself. But here are some questions that may help you with your thinking process. Kishu, did you have any role whatsoever in your coming into existence? Kishu replied, No, Master Mezu. Master Mezu then continued, So the fact that you came into being, that you exist, that you have life, is due to something that is separate from you, something that is outside of you. Would that be correct? Kishu replied, Yes, Master Mezu. Master Mezu then said, If it is something outside of you, what might that something be? Kishu sat in silence. Master Mezu then said, one approach, Kishu, you may want to consider would be to attribute your life to the result of completely random occurrences. Another approach would be to attribute it to a god or a higher power as you know it. Master Mezu then said, Kishu, you must spend time thinking about this, for the answer to your question lies within you, and this knowledge is required for your enlightenment. End of story. So, why don't we do what Master Mezu said and spend a few moments doing our own thinking on this? Let's take the approach that life came about due to random occurrences, and there is no God. Life is something that just happened to occur. The creation of life was a random occurrence coming from a simple roll of the dice. Some numbers came up and other numbers didn't. And this dice rolling happened over 100 billion times. Each time another life just happened to appear. So then every individual that has ever existed is a random occurrence that happened at a random time with random parents in a random location on a random planet in a random universe, all coming into existence by a random chance. So randomness completely defines this. All of life could just as easily have happened, as well as just as easily could not have happened. It just happened to have turned out that it did happen. So my life is the result of random occurrences. The dice were rolled, and the number that came up was me. I could have existed just as easily as I could have not existed. It was all determined by chance, by a roll of the dice. For billions of years, the dice were rolled, and my number never came up. So I didn't exist in any manner, shape, or form whatsoever. And then, just like that, there was my number. and I appeared. How about that? There I was, formed from a random set of events based on nothing more than the chance rolling of the dice. I was something that just appeared out of nothingness. I am no different than everything else that has ever existed that also just appeared. No different from a single atom, no different than anything and everything that makes up the entire universe. Each thing in the universe all sharing one common thing together. We all could not have existed or could never have existed. It's all based on a throw of the dice. It just happened to all work out the way it did, all by itself. So a characteristic of randomness and chance happenings and dice throwing is, believe it or not, that life is created. Will life continue to be created out of randomness? Who knows? Randomness doesn't guarantee anything. So life and all that exists in the universe could all be gone in the very next moment. And why not? When things are based in randomness, there is no structure, there is no orderliness to things. The dice determine what will happen next. There is no cause and effect. It is all random chance. The next number from the roll of the dice. The next roll of the dice could turn up snake eyes, and I lose, and you lose, and we all lose, and all is gone back to nothingness. No guarantees with randomness. So there we are. We have a line of reasoning, a thought process, carried to some conclusion. If this line of reasoning makes sense to you and works for you, then you have your answer. There is no God. What conclusion do you arrive at when you think about these things? Remember what Master Mezu said to Kishu. Kishu, you must spend time thinking about this, for the answer to your question lies within you. And this knowledge is required for your enlightenment. Well, something to think about. More to come. Stay well. Bye now.